Sunday on a nice lazy drive up from Albury to just past Sydney. And this morning getting back in the car and heading back up to the Gold Coast. So today is Monday, it is a public holiday in the Gold Coast, but yeah, so getting up to Heckfield for a Tuesday start on the build assist for my Sling TSi. Can't wait. Hey everyone, and welcome back to sunny Heckfield. A lot different to the last visit, having the sun out, which is fantastic. So hopefully a visit this week which will be uninterrupted and action-packed with a lot of progress. So today I know that we're going to get stuck into finishing those wings off. Having them ready to go and send to paint by the end of the week would be awesome. So we'll make a fair bit of progress on them today. I know that the engines arrived as well too, so that's going to play a big part this week, and lots of other things in terms of the firewall forward for us to get through. But just magnificent to be back. Weather's much better than what it was previously, and just looking forward to really getting stuck into it this week. All right, give us your best one taker.
All right, so we're going to mount our fuel tanks to this. So we're going to run
a wing stuff?
Yeah. Go on.
Woo! Hallelujah.
Yeah, so we're going to run Clicos on this so we get our tank in place properly. And then, yeah, it's nice and simple. So Clico at the tops, then we'll do the bottom. Try and even run it so it stays in line on both sides.
Yep.
You don't want it to be too far because the tank can sit slightly high on one side.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's our day.
Nice and simple. Yep.
All right. So obviously having a quick build kit, we've got a pre-assembled wing.
Yep.
Can you take me through what we're sort of looking at in terms of the wing structure itself and what's been delivered from the factory?
So this is from factory. Is pretty much your wing is practically built.
Yep.
Your fuel tank is done.
Yep.
And you just have to mount your fuel tank.
Yep.
And you'll want to build your flaps and ailerons, which you did last time.
Yep.
So today our goal is to fully mount your fuel tanks.
Yep.
And then your wingtip as well.
Perfect. Wingtip over there.
Put the tank over here somewhere.
Yep.
So the goal is not to try bend these skins when we're doing it.
Yep.
Because the only way to really grip it is fly the skins themselves.
Got it.
Just making sure these are tight.
So prior to getting stuck into the wing, we just wanted to do a quick sense check on the overflow in the fuel tank. So this process here was just getting the fuel tanks off so we can check that.
Not loose. Right. Why did you take it off?
All right, we're going to strap it.
Yep. So when strapping the tank, you could normally try and do along a rivet line.
Okay.
But then, so for this one, we're going to strap it along this one.
Okay.
If we have to strap the other side, where it's got the back lip, I normally use a bit of angle. Cross it, spread the load. Otherwise, if you don't spread the load, you're going to bend.
Right.
That bend there.
Yeah.
Which is what you don't want.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Got it?
So you'll see how that just does practically like straight into place.
Yeah.
Pretty much in line. So now we'll do what else. We'll put a couple clicos in it,
Yeah.
hold top and bottom, roughly where it should be. And then we're going to probably, depending on our line, on our rivet lines up here, I think it's slightly, very slightly that way, too far in.
Yep.
And now we'll do the same as we've done before. We'll run our 4 mils from that side across this way to pull the tank to where it should be. And then you'll see on this rib here, I've taken it out because we want to put these 2 bolts in as well.
Yeah, right.
Which is a lot easier to do.
Yep. Easy.
Yep. Pull in place.
Too bad.
But it will sort of
Go
lever.
down a little bit.
It'll come to.
What size?
That'll be the 3 mil. So
Oh, yep.
the same thing, so with these, I'll normally run it through the bottom
Bottom. Okay.
up because we want to try to put it to the front where if you start up here somewhere.
Yep. Okay.
Just for your hold on the. It's nice and free, not pushing the drill all the way down. If you don't want to hit any of the fittings behind here as well. Nice and free. I'll run these. I'll go find the rivet gun, guys.
So those just go across here?
Yep.
Yep.
So it'll be all your countersink ones.
Yep.
So can't really do these ones.
Yep.
All good. All I want to say is that my part of the work is now done. For the morning.
How many wings have you done in your life?
Too many. I do most of them, so.
Yeah. Oh, that looks like good stuff.
Thanks. So with these, because we're using stainless on the bigger ones,
Yep.
it's because they're different metals, but we put a little bit of tungsten on them,
Yep.
just to give it a bit more protection.
Okay.
These are the same thing, they're stainless rivets.
Yep.
What I normally like to do is use one as just to apply the rest. So just enough around it all, covering it. You also don't want too much on there. Because if it spreads, that's why I'm just going to do it. So it'll spread out like that around.
Yep.
Which is a lot, but we can clean it up after. Just takes a bit of acetone on that to get rid of it. You also don't want too little.
Yeah.
So you want something more towards that one where it's not a lot around it, but
Yep.
it is still a bit, enough so it to squeeze out.
Yep.
Yeah, so we pretty much just do that with the stainless ones.
Once the riveting was complete on the main wing, it was then up to a little bit of a clean-up duty, and you got a bit of a side-by-side comparison there where the factory had filled in the rivets, and then the rivets that we just applied had been in there. So all those holes just needed to be filled. The next clip sort of shows the process of getting that resin ready.
So I'm going to mix up like 1 spoon of this at a time. So the stuff will set pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay.
That's normally I only do one spoon to around 12 to 14 drops.
Yep.
I'm just going to mix it all together, and then you give it a pinch of the micro balloons to give it a bit of colour.
Okay.
It's a bit easy to see in the rivets.
Yep.
So it's being change colour.
Yeah, gotcha.
It should go to like a close to a greenish type colour.
Okay. Yeah. Fiberglass resin there.
If you want this to sort of roll into it as well, you don't want your air bubbles in there.
Yeah.
So have it so it pretty much will pop out of the hole a little bit,
Yeah, gotcha.
but there's not enough so it can run down. But if it does run down, sort of leave it because we can sort of pop that off later when it sort of sets. So you're just making so it doesn't leave like an air bubble in this. I'll see if I can make one. So just keep it simple. So if I just do switch straight in, there's most likely an air bubble in there. The way I've just done that now.
Yeah.
So if that happens, you normally will start poking this. Sometimes there's a bubble there.
Yep.
A bubble there.
Yep.
What you don't really want, because once we sand this down, it'll either become an air bubble layer, so it'll be like a pinhole. And you'll see that once it's painted. You know, we just try and go right
On the edge.
Yeah. Roll, sort of roll it like that.
Yeah, look at that. Yep. Awesome. So
That's just to give us a little bit more strength on the inside, and then
yep. And just a small little hairline crack.
Yep.
What a bummer.
So we'll just give it a nice. We'll grind out in here a little bit, and then give it probably about a yay big patch, about 3 layers of composite or fiberglass.
Yep.
Let that set, and then mount it on the wing, and then we can do these ones later.
Yep.
That should happen. Pretty much it's formed to where it should be as well. So.
All right, so just to quickly give a bit of an overview on what's happening here, obviously there was a little bit of damage on that wingtip and we had to go about fixing it. So Mitch has taken off roughly about 3 layers of fiberglass and trying to make it nice and uniform. And this just helps us resurface the area for application of new fiberglass to make it all brand new again. Yeah, so just a bit of acetone, clean it up.
Just so it's nice and clean, so there's any dirty in there.
Yeah.
So these you can like the way you can also do these is you're sort of meant to go from a smaller one to a bigger one.
Yep.
Go.
Okay.
But you can also do the same way.
Yep.
I prefer to do go smaller than until they get bigger.
And larger. Yep. And you're going to add what, 3 layers?
Yep.
Yep.
Just 3 layers. And for this, I normally like to when we go to apply it is you add just a nice lick of it to here, just so your layers will stick.
Yep. Yep.
And then you don't want to add a lot of resin. You need to just dab it in there, so it gets in through all the the meshing of the fiberglass.
Yep.
There's no point just lathering on there and then it doesn't really stick because it's got like an air bubble on it.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't measure traffic in. It doesn't really move.
Yeah.
This will make the fiberglass like a little bubble as well. Now you don't really miss it. Alright, so it should look like that.
Pretty good.
Quite close.
Done a good job there, mate.
You can't really tell it's even a page. That's there.
1-to-1.
With those pumps,
Yeah.
which is nice.
And this is stuff that you can get at the boat shop.
Yep.
Yeah, righto. So one of my priorities this visit was to get a look at the new DUC prop that was being installed on the Sling High Wing, and here it is. Really like the look of it visually, and I've been really satisfied in terms of the data that I've got from a performance perspective that it matches up. This will be the propeller that I'll install on our TSI.
We're gonna practically make sure all this will go in nice, easily. This bit here is to make sure to scale line.
Yep.
Just so this isn't too far down or too far high. Then we'll see that gap there is not nice and even.
Gotcha.
So you want to be fairly close. And you also want your strap to be pretty much over a rivet line. Otherwise, if you pull it too far that way, you're going to just be pulling it. And really,
no rivet line being there. Yep. Yep.
On the back of it. You want it to be tight, but not too tight on the strap. Otherwise, you'll bend us to be
Tight, but not too tight.
Yep. Not too tight. It's mainly just so we can get our along here to be a little bit nicer.
Yep.
So see there's a bit of a gap there. That'd be also because of the dimples on this.
Yeah.
Pushing the skin up.
Yeah.
So
They're going to fold down a bit.
Yep. So it'll pretty much go sunk into it.
Yeah.
So up here will be pretty close. It might not be all the way, but it'll be quite spot on.
So are you happy in terms of the form of that compared to what you'd normally expect?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's quite close.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then when the painter goes along, they'll either, depending on the gap, they might fill, they might not, as in the paint will probably end up filling it.
Yep.
So, yeah. You don't want your strap to be too tight, otherwise you'll get it along here and it'll actually bend the end of the wingtip up, so then you have a kick off that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so hard to see at home, but there's tension on there, but not a great deal.
Yeah, you don't need too much. If you put too much on it, the hooks in that will end up putting tension in the bottom.
Yep.
Not ideal. For this, I normally just like to make it run off that top line.
Yeah.
It's probably the flattest, probably one of the flattest spots on here. And you just going to make sure it's fairly even. If I do it where my 20 marks. Top line, top and bottom. So they should become close. Try to
So that one, yeah. So basically we've got a pretty good line all along there.
Yep.
That one tucks in a little bit.
Yep.
Underneath.
So it might be also with, I don't know how straight the composite line is.
Gotcha.
That I've just done 20 mil off each edge of the ruler.
Yeah.
But we are fairly there.
This one kicked out a little bit back.
So you'll see up the front here as well, you'll sort of see these little countersinks are slowly starting to dig in a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
It's alright, it's just a little bit tight.
Yeah. So the countersunk holes here just bite a little bit into the...
There's nothing major though. Top and bottom, otherwise still go out. Yeah.
Yeah. So all the preparation for the drilling. And we were sort of saying that these holes will be drilled a little bit further back.
We don't do all of it in one go, so we'll just drill most of the ones that are around the corner, the counter.
Yep.
And the same on the bottom side as well.
Yep. And the ones on the corner, so that one there, you were sort of saying like you offset up what, a mil or?
Yep, about a mil.
About a mil.
Rough, give or take a mil. So.
Yep.
They're very roughly done, so.
Yep.
It's just, yeah, so once we put this back on, because it's going to be our countersink as well.
Yep.
So it should also pull it a little bit more forwards.
Yep.
Because the dimples and that sort of pushing it away.
So this is one of these jobs that, you know, for an at-home builder, can be a bit of a tough one. You were sort of saying, and obviously you've done a lot of these, and I'm taking a step back here because I absolutely want the professional to be doing it.
It's just time consuming.
Yeah.
More worrying about if you're going to stuff it up or not. You're not really going to, but it's not like you can't fix it.
It's always fixable. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not metal where you have to replace it if you stuff it up.
Yep.
Is that like a Cirrus out there?
Which one?
Like the orange one?
That's a Sling.
Oh, that's a Sling? The orange one? Really? Oh, the one that...
So you see, so I got that mark there, just slightly back from it.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't need to be a lot, just a little bit.
Yep.
once we do our corner bit as well, because once we pull it that far forwards, we can just drill the rest of them. So you don't really need to run them all.
This is just getting the countersunk holes done. Looking pretty good.
So I'm probably going to counter these ones probably a little bit more. So what happens is the rib can also move either loose rib. So it can be either left or right where the hole. So then wiggle it out a little bit. That's what you should want to do.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yep.
Lines and pop out.
Yep.
40 going from the center.
50, 40 by 50. Yep.
Yep. there. Alright. Like once you feel that thing dip out, or dip through,
Yeah.
stop.
Nice.
Well, the bird make this a lot skinnier.
Hey.
It make this a lot skinnier. Like probably a bit more of a mission to be your wire through.
Nice.
So I can chat myself.
Bingo. I've got to tell you, this was one of the weirdest days ever. And again, just another story for the Build Assist out here at Heckfield. They're producing at the moment a Hollywood movie. Owen Wilson's one of the stars in it. If you sort of look down my shoulder down there, you can sort of see all the trucks and stuff down there. The guys that are doing the movie invited us down to have a bit of a look through the movie set and check out what they do behind the scenes. So I've just lost probably two and a half hours of my life doing that, and that was just so wildly cool. I've never been behind a movie set before and seen how it all worked, but the guys were just so generous with their time and answered heaps of questions. And again, it's just another one of these weird things that happen at Heckfield that seems to happen on like nearly a daily basis. And I probably didn't get as much done today now as what I was expecting, because we were sort of hoping to get that wing nearly basically done today. But that was so cool. Anyway, we're heading back here early tomorrow to finish off that wing, and that should be take us through to about lunchtime. Once the wing's all done, we can get that ready and send it to paint. And then after that, we are going to start work on that Rotax 916, which is super, super exciting. Just another brilliant day up here in the Gold Coast, and again, just feeling very thankful. Cheers, guys.